Our mission at Operation Vet Now is to honor our heroes who never made it home and to be there for all who did. We support our warriors by reaching out and creating connections through innovative programs focused on improving mental and physical wellness. A few members of the team envisioned an annual memorial motorcycle ride that would honor fallen service members from the state of Pennsylvania. It also would include an outreach event that focuses on helping those who made it home but suffer from the often invisible injuries stemming from their service. From this idea, the OVN Veterans Village outreach concept was born. From what started on a small piece of notebook paper is now what we know as Operation Vet Now's annual Fallen Heroes Ride and Military Appreciation event. It all started back in 2018 with the inaugural ride to honor the now Congressional Medal of Honor recipient Master Sergeant John Chapman, an Air Force combat controller who was killed in action in Afghanistan. While John was not originally from PA, he had close ties to Windber, where his wife Valerie grew up. John is buried in a small cemetery in Windber, and in 2018, approximately 34 motorcycles departed Greensburg on a mission to honor John, stopping for a hero ceremony at his gravesite. While our group of bikes were small, little did we know that an immeasurable partnership was in the making. A new motorcycle club had been formed of veterans and first responders with the mission to help veterans in the southwest Pennsylvania area. 3 guys named Tony, Keith, and Craig led the ride, and along with our official ride pastor, Reverend Mike Beckley of Smithton, they trekked over the mountain to Windber on a ride that day that will never be forgotten. While the meaning and purpose of the ride was immeasurable, the group was small, but that did not deter them from committing to continue their work to ensure these fallen heroes are never forgotten. The following year, our research brought us to the story of 2 young men who grew up just 50 miles apart. One joined the Army, the other joined the Air Force. About 6 years into their career, Operational Sentinel Freedom brought the 2 of these warriors together in the same Humvee on the battlefield of Afghanistan. While on a convoy, their Humvee hit an IED, and both of our hometown boys were taken from us. There's no question. We had to honor these 2 brave young men who gave it all without hesitation. So in 2019, we rode for Sergeant Jason McClary of Export and Staff Sergeant Dylan Elchin of Hookstown. We more than tripled the number of bikes, and the outreach event grew. Then after a year off due to the pandemic, we regrouped in 2021 to ride for 13 soldiers who were killed in February of '91 in a Scud missile attack while deployed to Operation Desert Storm. These soldiers were assigned to the Army Reserve Unit of the 14th Quartermaster Detachment based in Greensburg. These 13 soldiers represented numerous small towns throughout our communities. The ride stopped at the unit, where a beautiful memorial was built in their honor for a special memorial ceremony. The number of riders grew, and the Veterans Village expanded. In 22, we honored 6 local service members from our community, soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who served their country proudly, receiving multiple awards, deploying in combat multiple times, and working through the stresses of duty the military brings. But they also fought a battle that was invisible to us all, an injury unseen to the eye, an injury that took these beautiful souls from us too soon. We knew we had to honor these 6 heroes with a warrior's tribute, and we gathered a record number of writers and veterans organizations to not only pay tribute to these heroes, but also to bring help and hope to so many of our veterans who suffer from the same. 22 brought the new Gold Star pre-event dinner. With tremendous support from the White Oak American Legion, we had an amazing evening with these 6 Gold Star families. And finally, in 2023, with many of our team being Iraq veterans, we were well aware it was the 20th anniversary of the beginning of that war. So we thought it was fitting to honor all who we lost from the surrounding counties in Iraq. As with every fallen hero's tribute we do, there's some divine intervention. It just so happened our great friend Dory Stabille's passion project was about to finish, the Westmoreland County Global War on Terror Memorial. And with that said, we knew exactly where we were stopping for that ceremony. The number of bikes grew, And the Veterans Village reached a level and number of veterans like never before. With the village, the vision to bring the therapy of music came to fruition, and OVN board member Dean formed an all-combat veteran band we now know as Task Force Rock. And they played for the crowd and talked about the healing power of music to our veterans and community. Which brings us to this year's ride, the 6th annual Fallen Heroes Ride, in just over 30 years since we lost 19 American heroes in Mogadishu. While the anniversary brought the mission to light, this spurred us to see the role our hometown warriors of Pennsylvania played in that fight. And the stories we read, the legacies we learned, were amazing and humbling. Uniquely, these 3 men served in the most elite military units in the world, and most of their service may never be published. The acts of bravery, the willingness to lay their life on the line for their brothers is unparalleled in any story told. We found that 3 of the 19 we lost in that battle were from Pennsylvania. Young men who grew up in our small communities of Derry, Carmichael, and Carlisle. They played football, baseball, ran track, and more. They loved to hunt and fish, and they loved their country. Tonight we have the privilege to hear firsthand about the mission and part of that story. And tomorrow, together, we will embark on a journey to honor and remember our brothers, Sergeant First Class Earl Fillmore, Sergeant First Class Randall Shogart, and Corporal Richard Kowaleski. Among these 3 soldiers, the awards Congressional Medal of Honor, Distinguished Service Cross, Silver Stars, Bronze Stars with Valor, multiple Purple Hearts, and more. Now that we have a good look at what tomorrow will bring, ladies and gentlemen, let us now introduce our special guest for the evening.